And there we go. We are live for the show. Yo ho ho. I ain't got no intros. I do got intros. I could sing, I could dance, I could do everything, but no, that's not what attracts people. We gotta get we gotta figure out a nice intro. Like a better intro. I know we suck, but or at least I suck. Okay, let's be one half of the people on this show suck, and that is Alex. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely me. I bring no contributions whatsoever. Just like my marriage.
Oh, Jesus!
My God, this has become my therapy all over again.
I'm just going to take this time. All those people that were shit-talking me for Michigan State, 49-0, they're down at the half.
Go Green!
You can say that. They're getting their asses beat.
Welcome, everybody, to No Sports Dynasty. I am one half of your host, Cedric, and to my left, right, wherever decided you're watching from, is my co-host, Alex Loosemore. How are we doing today, brother?
I'm doing really well.
Yeah, of course you are.
Waiting for Michigan to tear apart Maryland next week, or later on, so that next week, Michigan, Ohio State, we at least have a chance this year, and it can be for the division and a playoff spot. So,
if you say so, man, I don't know.
We match up way better against Ohio State than Michigan State does because we can defend the pass.
I get that. I mean, but Michigan State doesn't have three top 15 wide receivers if we include the other guy we were just talking about. What's his name?
Jackson Smith and Jigba, yeah.
Thank you. See, this is also one of the reasons why, to anybody who's watched this show, I hired on Alex to be part of this show because he's a lot better knowing the college players than I am. I'm not say better than knowing this, but what I bring is I know what teams look at in the offseason because you can start taking things from what certain people say on Twitter, certain articles, because even someone with 300 followers who is just close to a situation can know a lot more than Adam Schefter. It's just how it goes. But also Adam Schefter likes to stir the pot, which we've also started to know. So you got to learn how to play the game. And if you learn how to play the game, you get 8 out of 32 in the first round from this son of a bitch, which makes him technically, by what the percentages would go, an analyst. And 7 out of 32 for this son of a bitch, which still just makes me a journalist by their standards, which is totally fine too. But
the one player difference,
the one player difference, and that's just like, guess what? You go to Yale and you can fuck off. So, that's how our off season went. And like we said before, our bread and butter usually is the off season when it comes to this stuff, because Dynasty usually is a good off season type of the metrics that go into it. But right now we're starting to get into the playoffs of things.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to get down to the nitty gritty on the playoffs. We don't necessarily know in our league who's going to make the playoffs just yet. It is everywhere. I'm currently playing for the playoffs because Deebo Samuel decided to literally.
Well, in that league, I've had a 3-game skid and I've dropped to second last place, and I still have a chance to make the playoffs. There's 6 teams fighting for that last playoff spot or two. It's insane.
And I'm in our league right now. I currently have a 90% chance of beating my opponent, but that's only because he has no tight end or flex position in right now. I think he's just kind of waiting till tomorrow to see what he can do. But if he also doesn't want to put those people in, hey, that's cool. I'll take the free win. I don't give a damn.
See, right now I have a 42% chance to win. I'm playing the last place team in our league. He has Kamara and Allen Robinson as his flex players right now. Neither are playing tomorrow. So
our league usually has everybody come in on Sunday morning. Switch them up. Unless you're our one friend Chris, who's currently on a 2-game winning streak, and one of those winning streaks he had Ruggs still in. It's like, buddy, should almost automatically kill you that week. Oh, that was bad. I'm sorry. Anyway, I know. I'm sorry. He should be the one that passes away from that situation. That's what I'm trying to clarify here. Okay. I don't usually wish death upon anybody, but if you take an innocent life for just being a dumbass because you don't know how to deal with your money, you're the one that should be, you should be the one given that. I also just, quickly, I saw this little article where talking about if you're, drinking and driving and you were to kill parents and stuff like that, that you now pay for the child. Like you pay like what a dad or a mom would if you abandon a child. Child support. There we go. You basically pay child support for the rest of your life, and I'm like, now we're starting to think properly. So, back into the actual football here, though. I'm currently sitting in our league in 9th place after I made all those big trades, and I only have 3 of those players actually still on my roster from all the big trades that I made last year. I'm currently sitting at 5-5. And then this son of a gun, who I go and trade one of my big players to, goes and trades that big player to a guy that I'm trying to beat to get to the playoffs.
Yep.
And you want to know why he does this? It's because I currently have his first round pick. So he's just trying to screw me out of it as best as he can, which is fine. It's not going to work. Though I'm not going to to all the people out there who have been fans of the show and fans of fantasy football, in Dynasty, we're starting to slowly figure out that even if you were the 2 dominant teams of last year, which was me and Russell and Flo, the next year does not mean you're going to be ending up in that situation, considering I am currently in 9th out of 14 and Russell and Flo is the last place team.
Yeah.
It's difficult to play Dynasty because Dynasty is basically having a GM. We don't do the money. We don't do anything like that. But what we do in Dynasty that differs for anybody else is you don't just drop Laviska Shenault. You don't just drop new running backs. You don't just drop, number 2 wide receivers. You keep these guys. That's what Dynasty is. And a lot of people forget that. They're like, well, what is Dynasty? It's like, well, you're building for the future. That's why in certain leagues, I've been around in almost every single league because if my running back goes down, I have his backup.
Yeah.
Except this year because I wasn't playing or paying absolute ransom to get Dalvin Cook's backup. So instead, I said, screw that. I'm going to get a ransom or respectable ransom for Dalvin Cook because I just couldn't put up with it. Injuries and inconsistencies.
I didn't realize after I made all those trades last week there, I have every Patriots running back that touches the field.
Yep.
I have Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, and Brandon Bolden.
Yep. And you know what? I was even thinking about it today because I am one of those guys where I don't want to have all the running backs of a certain team, but it depends on what the caliber of the team would be. Like if you're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, give me all the running backs of the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't care. Give me all 3 or 4.
See, I disagree with that.
Well,
I want all the receivers on the Kansas City Chiefs.
True. I guess we would say then, say Jacksonville, right? James Robinson, Carlos Hyde, give me all those guys. Indianapolis Colts, just in case, Jonathan Taylor was to go down. God forbid. I do not need that happening.
I don't need that for my other league either.
Exactly.
The one that I'm running.
Honestly, I think Jonathan Taylor will go down in history as the greatest trade I've ever made. To be honest with you, because I looked at it the other day. Let me just pull it back up here. If I pull up the history of it, I traded, and I'm pretty sure, I got your pick back anyway. So, but I traded a 2021 first round pick, a 2022 third, Myles Gaskin, and Jared McKissick. Yeah. And I got Jonathan Taylor, a second round pick, and a 4th round pick back.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I think that's
absolutely disgusting.
I think that will go down. But I'm also not going to toot my own my horn here too loud because I have made some dumb fucking trades for sure. I have made some of the dumbest trades, not only in North Sports Dynasty League, But the COVID league that I'm in, oh my God, I've gone through there and I'm like, how have I done this bad? And I'm like, I can't take a year off because I'm literally trying to trade for my pick back, because in that league, I've lost way too many weeks by like 5 points or less.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I was stacked to be, pretty good, but now it's like, I can't do this. And so now I'm trying to trade for my first round pick back. And the guy's like, I want the only running backs you have, motherfucker. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving you my running backs. I don't want to give up Devonte Williams, but if I have to for a package, I will. Like, for example, now looking at it, I should have originally taken the offer that came to me. The offer was for Devonte Williams in a Dynasty League, injured Robert Woods, obviously.
Yeah.
Injured J.K. Dobbins, Laviska Shenault, and Marcus Callaway. And I looked at it, and I didn't want to give up the running back because everyone knows how I am with injuries as well. I don't value injury in Dynasty like everybody else does. But props to this person, because I won't say who it was, but props to this person for sending me that offer where I was like, all right, I might be able to do this. I've sent him a re-offer where it's basically something close, but I'm like, I want the Buccaneers defense now. You son of a bitch. Like, everyone does not let me have the Buccaneers defense. Even in our league, Steel Sox is never going to let me have the Buccaneers defense.
Oh, yeah. There's no way.
Unless I give him like Alvin Kamara, and then he'd be like, well, I want Alvin Kamara, and I'm like, fuck off.
It was funny because when we were getting close to the trade deadline in our North Sports Dynasty League there, I'm pretty much getting ready for next year. So I was like, let me see if anyone will take Dalvin Cook, and let me see what I can get. And I went to Steel Sox because I wanted Chuba, because I don't think Christian McCaffrey is going to be there next year.
I agree.
I still don't.
I agree.
So I was like, let me get their running back. I went for, what did I end up trading him for?
You got a pretty fair package from what I net phrasing. You got a pretty good package for that trade. If I can get,
I'm just gonna go to Chuba here. Go to the history. So I got.
Yeah, I got.
I gave up Dalvin Cook and AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I got Damian Harris, Chuba Hubbard, Nico Collins, a 2022 third, and a 2023 first.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll get the starting running back. I'll get the running back tandem for the Patriots now with Ramondre Stevenson. The starting running back for the Panthers next year, which we're just assuming at this point. Yeah. And Nico Collins, who's been slowly improving in that Texans offense. So I was just like, let me kind of fall back a little bit and get some of these young guys for the future.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just looking at everything right now. I was very confused. I was like, wait a second, do we have a 2021 draft? And I was like, okay, that's what it was. Because I have your pick. I know that.
Yeah.
And that's it's weird because it says I traded it away, and then I can't remember how I acquired it. I can't go to the history of a first round pick, which is weird. Oh no, that was a 2021 first round pick. Never mind. Now I understand. Now I totally understand.
I'm sitting fairly decent for this draft. I have 3 seconds and a third still.
That you're gonna get
very
depth.
Okay with that.
For me, I've understood that basically like this part of my team, which is perfect because I can't have to scroll down anymore. That essentially there, except for Josh Jacobs, is locked in next year. Like, I'm not trading Stephon Diggs. I'm not trading DJ Moore. I'm not trading Josh Allen, especially not trading Josh Allen now that we're going to a super flex league. Like, I'm not going to be dumb and be like, oh, I only have backup quarterbacks going into a super flex league. No, there's a reason why I traded for Trey Lance. There's a reason why you even saw at the trade deadline, other people in our league doing it too, just making a couple of quick changes so that they can get ready for the super flex draft, which is like, we did our first draft to set it up, and then we basically did our next draft, which was, this and everything like that. Now we're going to do this upcoming rookie draft, which will be in April. End of April,
start of May there.
Yeah. Basically 3 weeks we usually do after the draft. It gives everybody enough time to go and search up the players, which most of the people in our league, what they do is they just listen to us for 3 weeks and they go, oh shit, I didn't realize there was a running back that we took in the 4th round. Okay, I'm gonna just jot that down. It's like, yeah, I see you, Kyle Yacy, and all you other guys.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for us, we're turning the kicker position into a super flex. So we'll essentially have 2 flexed players that we'll have and 1 super flex. Well, you could put anyone in there technically, but more than likely people are going to put in quarterbacks unless you have like 3 top tier
running backs, like
or 3 god tier wide receivers. Like it's going to be quite interesting to see how this gets played out next year. But the next league that we're setting up, which I think we got 8 so far for people who are confirmed. I said that I wanted to cap it out at 12, but I'm also open if there's a lot of people who still, towards the end of the season come out of the woodwork and be like, love your show, want to get into the dynasty with you guys. Then we're going to do that too. We'll possibly open it up to 14. What we're basically going to see, we're all going to vote on it too. So everybody will be in a group chat and we'll basically go from there. Yeah. Speaking from going from there, Kyle says, feel called out there. You're always called out, Kyle. Don't you worry. Let's get in. What's up?
Kyle, add another one.
See, there we go. Yeah, it's another Dynasty League, Kyle, that we're starting up. It's basically next year for start up for next year. In February or March, that's when the startup draft will be. And we'll have a whole preparation for it. It is going to go live. And we are going to allow certain things for that draft. Like we did last time, you're allowed to trade certain picks to certain people if you want. Not to say it's going to be a professional league or anything, but we basically know who knows Dynasty and everything like that from now on. And we know who can do what from now on. And that's why we're going to basically open the platform to everybody. And Kyle will definitely be fun because we know that he's an Atlanta guy, but he's slowly started to realize maybe I don't need all my Atlanta players anymore.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing he didn't accept that Calvin Ridley trade back in the day.
Oh my God.
Oh man. I would have been on a roll, man.
Yeah.
We got a question here. How do you guys like Wilson as a starter this week for 5K on FanDuel? Interesting. If it's for 5K on FanDuel, we would have to. I have to understand what the American platforms do a little bit more. But if I'm thinking correctly, it's just you're going to need them to get a certain amount of points. Then.
Well, no. So it's kind of like that perfect lineup thing. You pick like your quarterback, and it's like their salary for the week.
Okay. So then, his salary would be very, very low then comparably.
For 5K, it depends on what your total balance is for the week.
Oh, I thought it meant to win 5K. I got you. Okay, so 5K, it depends on what your total would be. But I'm assuming if it was, even low to mid, that's cheap. You can get Jeff Wilson. He's going to be the number 1. And we can actually get right into our 5 starts then right now. And I'll just give it right off the bat here. My number 1 is Jeffrey Wilson, the running back from San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
The reason is we got Elijah Mitchell, who's obviously out. A lot of people think that there's going to be, the emergence of Trey Sermon. It hasn't happened yet.
They've hardly even dressed him for games this year. So
that's the thing. And to get that out of the way too, I have Trey Sermon in as my number 2 sit because I'm not falling for that hype trade. He's going to see catches.
Yep.
Hell, he might even get a red zone touchdown. Who knows? But it's not going to be consistent. It's not going to be like Elijah Mitchell. It's not. If he goes off, it might just be a flash in the pan. Who knows? But I like Jeffrey Wilson. Jeffrey Wilson is, say the pass catching back in there as well. A good secondary. They got a lot of running backs that they can use. But the big thing is, I don't know. I think Jeffrey Wilson is going to be the number 1 this week. And I'm not sold on Trey Sermon at all. So That's just to get my number 1 basically out of the way. And we'll get Alex to give his number 5 and number 4 for your starts. Let's start you off with that.
All right, so my number 5 start, I went Cam Newton this week playing against the Washington football team. First off, I know he hasn't done that much this season, but Chase Young is no longer playing for that Washington football defense.
Nope.
And there's still not really any tape on Cam Newton in this new offense. Mm-hmm. So I think for the next week or two, he's going to do really well, especially if he can get going with McCaffrey again. I feel like he could have a pretty big day against Washington this week. Okay. Number 4, I have Stephon Diggs. It's a weak Colts secondary. As long as that offensive line can keep that front 7 off of Josh Allen's going to be able to throw to Stephon Diggs all day.
Nice. Yeah, I can see that for sure too. Especially like we're gonna get to some Colt player here in a bit, but like I got some things I want to say about the Colts. Number 5, I got Darnell Mooney, the wide receiver from Chicago.
I like that.
Allen Robinson is probably not going to play. Justin Fields is probably going to see a lot more of those targets. That's kind of just a given, but I've got him right at the number 5 spot because I got number 4, Mark Ingram, ahead of him. If Alvin Kamara ain't not going again.
Yeah, he's already out.
Yeah, then guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You're going to want to play Mark Ingram because the son of a bitch got 20 points plus last week. And thanks to your sister for allowing me not to have my damn handicap in this league again. It's been my ass. So I have him at number 4. So let's get your number 3 and number 2 for your starts of the week.
So number 3, I had Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
20 points. Kamara out. I like him again. And number 2, I have A.J. Brown against the Houston Texans. He's slowly getting back into form right in time for fantasy playoffs, which kind of makes me a little mad that I traded him. But, I think him and Tannehill can easily go off, especially no Derrick Henry there. Mm-hmm. And the running backs haven't been it for Tennessee ever since. Peterson and McNichols have not done it for them. No. So I feel like they're just going to air it out, and A.J. Brown's going to have a big day.
Fair enough. I got Alex Collins, the running back for Seattle. Russell Wilson last week was not the same. I think it's going to still give him a little bit of time. The guy had a pin in his damn hand, in his throwing hand, guys. So
he missed almost a month.
Exactly. So give him some time. Give him some time. Number 2, I actually have Cam Newton as well.
Okay.
I like this situation a lot, and I don't usually do this. I do not usually say a quarterback this high. I don't usually like quarterbacks. But Ron Rivera out loud said, I have plays that are meant to stop Cam Newton, that Cam Newton has never seen, blah, 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 blah. Cam Newton is not the type of player you want to have hear that.
Yeah.
Okay? All right? Do we all got that? All right? Do we got that? He has 2 wide receivers that he just adores. He's got a Canadian and CMC all ready to go. An offensive line that can at least decently hold him until he's got to run out of the pocket. I like Cam Newton's situation this week for sure.
And just the emotion and that revenge tour that you can see happening for him in Carolina. And it feels right. Exactly. Cam Newton being back in Carolina. I loved seeing that.
1,000%. All right. What's your number 1 start of the week?
My number 1 for the second week in a row, I've got the running back playing the Detroit Lions. It is Nick Chubb. He's back healthy this week.
Just no love.
I think, I'm being realistic. Nick Chubb this week is running behind the best offensive line in football. Mm-hmm. So I think he goes off. Absolutely off.
That's fair. Just no love for your Lions. Kyle did ask this real question. More prediction. What do you think the Falcons do offseason? Big trades, nothing at all. Let's start with you, Alex, because I already kind of know what I think is going to happen, just my personal opinion. So let's get your take first.
I think there's going to be one big trade. And I think whoever misses out on these big-time quarterbacks out of Denver, Miami, possibly the Giants. There's really only, like, I'd say 2 big-time quarterbacks. I don't buy Russell Wilson leaving Seattle anymore. I think he's happy again. So whoever misses out on Rodgers and Deshaun Watson, whoever that third team is, I think they go get Matt Ryan.
That would be a nice one. Because I actually think the same. So I was on a show this morning. I'm trying to remember the Benchwarmers podcast out of Las Vegas. Shout out them on Twitch. I popped up on there in the comment section, was talking to them a little bit. One of those guys there is a big Raiders fan, obviously, so we had a little bit of fun. But the question that got brought up, or that I brought up to them, was sorry, I just lost my train of thought because something popped up here. What were we just talking about? This is what happens when you're a stoner. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
You're talking the Benchwarmers podcast.
The Benchwarmers podcast.
Yeah.
And before that, with regards to your Lions and the Falcons. There we go. So with the Falcons, yeah, I know, right? Like I
was like, it's literally on the screen.
I know, right? Sorry. Like when I say something popped up on my phone, I was just like, oh, damn. So I agree the same thing with the Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to trade Matty Ice somewhere to a playoff caliber team, like a Denver or something like that. But the thing is I don't think, and I hate to say this, Kyle, I do not think next year is the year to go for a quarterback. If one falls to you in the second round, like, a Kyle Trask or a Kellen
I think
Mond,
there's going to be a lot there in the second round.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone's starting to see this. I think, in my opinion, the only first-round quarterback should be Matt Corral out of Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And then there's a decent chance you're going to see Malik Willis, just all the potential there.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody late, one of those playoff caliber teams, is going to take a shot at Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
So you're still looking at Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati, Carson Strong out of Nevada. There's going to be a few there in the second and third rounds that are there for the taking.
And now, that being said, the reason why I say this is I think Atlanta would get possibly a first-round pick for Matt Ryan.
I think you do.
Depending on the team and depending on the draft pick. Obviously, if we're talking, say, Denver, and if it's...
You're looking in that 15 to 20 range, I think.
Yeah,
for
and
them.
if it's that, I actually don't think Denver trades it away. I still, because Denver likes being in that weird... They built that team kind of with that area, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think they would give that away. I do think they would give maybe a second and maybe, say, a conditional first rounder. That might be too much. So maybe two conditional seconds. You get our second round pick this year. Next year's would be, possibly.
I think like a second, but if they make the playoffs, it goes up to a first. Kind of like the Carson Wentz scenario.
Yeah, and if he's an MVP and just add a couple things like that, right? Then I would agree with that. But they could go into the second round, kind of like what the Bucs did and the Vikings, and even the Houston Texans right at the beginning of the third, and go grab these quarterbacks that are projects or backups, like a Colt McCoy, your Chase Daniels, your Case Keenum, those type of guys. They're fillers. Yeah. Arthur Smith just needs to show that his team can do something. His system isn't just built for the Titans. It's built for him to succeed. So I'm not saying that they take a year off. I'm saying what they would do is they would trade Matt Ryan, build towards the future, because you got Kyle Pitts, you still got Calvin Ridley, respectively.
Hopefully.
Yeah. You can build that defense. You can start doing things in the draft that you never really had the ability to do before. So, and the second question he goes is, any big wide receiver coming out of this rookie draft?
Oh, there's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So you got 2 out of Ohio State, Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson.
Uh-huh.
It wouldn't shock me if they're both top 10, top 15 picks, to be quite honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
One to watch, not necessarily first round, he's probably going to be a second or third round pick, is Garrett Pickens out of Georgia. Was a potential top 5 pick coming into this year and tore his ACL early, so it's dropped him.
Okay.
He's going to be arguably the steal of the draft. But yeah, I think this is a very strong receiver class. Very strong. You're going to get David Bell from Purdue, who's arguably the top receiver in the country right now, in the late second round.
And if I'm not mistaken, Purdue's wide receiver last year was Rondell Moore, right?
Yep.
So
it's that same mold, these slot receiver gadget players that can do it all.
Like the Percy Harvin type that I absolutely loved. And I'm happy I said that about Rondell Moore in the offseason. I was like, this guy looks like a little Percy Harvin. And Kadarius Toney did too, but Kadarius Toney is something completely different when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Like he's got skill.
Just that elusiveness.
Yeah, he's got
Kadarius
skill.
Toney is different, yeah.
And I'm going to be happy to watch on Monday night the Buccaneers play him, and hopefully Kadarius Toney actually showcase a little bit. And I think the only reason he's going to want to is because it's against the Bucs. So this is a reason why in fantasy I am high on Kadarius Toney as well. I know that the Buccaneers are going to be healthy, but I think that the Giants are just going to do all the crazy shit that they've used to do in the past to just try and beat the Bucs the best that they can. So
yeah.
But yeah, those I think should answer your questions there, Kyle. All right, let's get with the sits. Let's get 5 and 4 right off the bat. Alex, start off with 5 and 4.
For me, number 5 this week, I've got Saquon Barkley. It sounds like there's a good chance he plays on Monday. He's questionable right now, but he did practice today or yesterday. Yesterday. Mm-hmm. So it's looking like there's a decent chance he plays. I just don't like him running behind that offensive line against the Bucs front seven. It's a nightmare. So sit Saquon Barkley. Number 4, I have Justin Jefferson. The Vikings are playing the Packers this week, which means Justin Jefferson draws Jair Alexander, which no receiver is really a good matchup for Jair Alexander, who's pushing his way towards the best corner in football right now. So I wouldn't rely on Justin Jefferson to be your number 1 wide receiver this week.
That's a very good. Yeah, Green Bay is starting. I actually was saying
that defense is very good. Now they lost a few key pieces this week.
Of course. And though I've even said that, I said that the only team right now that's playing well and looks well-rounded in the NFL is probably Green Bay. Tennessee is a very close second. Chiefs have their holes, and the Bucs have their holes as well.
I was like, the Packers did lose like 4 key players this week, including 2 pass rushers.
Yes,
which is huge for them. So
we're going to need to see what happens there too. So, because if everyone remembers, my early prediction or my last prediction for the Super Bowl was Green Bay versus Kansas City.
Yeah.
So, and I have Green Bay going through Tampa, and I believe I have Kansas City going through Buffalo. So, that is my predictions. As of right now, I'm not so sold on the Kansas City one. I don't want Green Bay to obviously beat Tampa Bay. But, I'm an NFL guy. I do love my team, as you all can see behind me. But I do understand what other teams bring to the table. And, the Buccaneers spanked, essentially, the Green Bay Packers twice last year. It's not easy to do a third time. Talk to the Saints.
Yeah.
Fuckers. The 5 I got here, I got Rashad Penny, running back for Seattle. I understand he's going to get a bit of a better workload, but can he stay healthy the whole game?
Nope.
See, that's the thing. That's what I do not trust. I need to see him go a couple of weeks. If he's on your bench, just sit him. This is the reason why we have the sits column here. Number 4, Robbie Anderson, the wide receiver out of Carolina. Usually, I would have him in the slumps. Now he has moved up to the sits because Cam Newton is starting. As a person who thought maybe Sam Darnold would have actually stayed in Carolina and made a trade for DJ Moore, hoping that the targets would still stay there, now Cam Newton has come back. Cam Newton might actually enjoy Robbie Anderson a little bit more. Yeah. We don't know. So that's why Robbie Anderson, for me, goes from the slump category all the way to sits, because we just need to see what happens.
Absolutely.
Give me number 3 to 2, please, and thank you.
Number 3 sit this week is Zach Moss. That's
a good one.
That Colts front 7 is nasty. So just sit Zach Moss for a week, then he can go back into your starting lineup. Mm-hmm. And number 2, I have Devonte Smith for the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, I just don't like the matchup this week.
Man, I'm just gonna say this right now. Last week, Robert said the same thing, and Robert could have literally annihilated me that last week instead of having the hope that Deebo Samuel will go off for 30 fucking points.
Yeah.
Ah! That really pisses me off. Anywho, so yeah, I'm just like, but hey, that's your call. That's your call. That's the only one I would disagree with, but
yeah, I'm just kind of taking a shot there, and I'm thinking this is that one week out of like every month that Marshawn Lattimore decides to show up. So yeah, that's fair. Number 3, I got Cedric Wilson, the wide receiver from Dallas. Listen, I understand that the wide receiver core is a little banged up, but Dak Prescott likes the receivers that he likes. Cedric Wilson has his targets, but he needs to be consistent with his targets that he actually knows in order for the Dallas Cowboys to keep up the consistency and make it to the playoffs. Yeah.
It just needs to happen. He cannot start putting Cedric Wilson into these big positions now. Okay. He no offense. And I'm not trying to be a homer. You're not Tom fucking Brady with Scotty Miller. Okay. You're still new. You're a now paid and brittle quarterback. Keep to the targets that you know. So I got Cedric Wilson there. And number 2, like I have already talked about, was Trey Sermon. Just no thank you.
Yeah.
So give me number 1 for you, my friend.
I've got Terry McLaurin against a very good Panthers secondary. Again, this is another guy where I think you could rely on him as a starting receiver, just not this week.
Fair enough. I got number 1 just for you. Tim Boyle, the quarterback from Detroit. Ladies and gentlemen,
I might disagree with you on that.
This guy is not going to come in and be Earl Warford or whatever the hell his name was, the quarterback for the LA Rams last year. He's not going to be Taylor Heineke. He's not going to come in and be Doug Flutie.
But here's the thing. He will throw the ball farther than 5 flipping yards down the field. This guy actually has an arm, and he's going to at least try and use it.
He's going to try. That's the thing. So in fantasy, a guy who has not really ever seen the field is going to try and throw the deep ball. I want no part of that. I want none of it. I understand. No. What are they going to do? They're going to love him for 2 years. He's going to go 9-7 for both, and they're going to fire his ass. They're going to send him out of town.
Get our starting quarterback in the draft. That's all I want.
No.
I'm done with Jared Goff. So Tim Boyle can be better than Jared Goff. It's not hard.
That's the true emotion.
I'm so tired of Jared Goff already.
I can hear the true emotion in your mind. I'm fucking done with Jared. Like your dad.
I need to see. I had Stafford pretty much the entire time I've been watching football, and then Goff can't throw a 10-yard pass. It's painful.
You know what? Yeah, that does kind of suck for Lions fans. Where it's like, listen, we may have sucked, but at least Stafford kept us in the game.
He made games interesting.
Yeah, he did. Oh, that's way too funny.
Now, I spent the entirety of last Sunday during that Lions-Steelers game, like, screaming at my TV. Because it looked like we were going to win. And then if it wasn't for that damn kicker, we did win the game.
Buddy, I did the same thing watching the Washington football team game. And I'm like, what are we doing?
I can imagine.
What are we doing? We just got off a bye. And then I'm like sitting there and I'm like, well, Andrew, you should be the nice centralist that you always are and maybe think about the other side in Washington. And I'm like, no, not at all. There's just no fucking reason why we should be doing this bad against the Washington football team. Like, and then so what? Hold on. So let me get into this. What is the hell is no? No. Where's
it up further?
Is it up further? There. No. Where's
not the one you're talking about?
Isn't? Oh, there it is. Yeah, going to beat the Bucs Monday. Yeah. Wow. See, that's the thing. It becomes this thing where we're like, oh my God, it's hell time here in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm gonna get deep into it tomorrow. Like, I'm not gonna start ranting or anything here. I definitely want to save it because I'm back for the cheap seats. Definitely not sick anymore. That fucking, oh my God. My kids get sick. Like, I go to work Friday, and I knew my kids were sick, like, on Thursday and Friday, so I'm like, just trying to play careful. I wake up basically Saturday, and I can feel the scratch in my throat, so we do the show, and everything's, like, honky-dory. I go to bed. I wake up Sunday, and I'm just like, like, everything just leaking out of me, and I'm like, what the hell? So I missed Monday, and I missed Tuesday kind of thing, and I couldn't necessarily go Wednesday either. I was like, oh, I can't do this. So I'm good now. I'm healthy. And the Bucs are getting healthy, but this is still one of those things where I'm like, I don't know. So I'm gonna talk about it more tomorrow night on the cheap seats about that. So let's get into the slumps here before we end the show. We got the last about 20 minutes here, so let's get into the slumps, and then we can get into some of the fan interactions. I will start this off by saying number 5, Adrian Peterson. I think everybody can start agreeing that he's slumping right now. He may get it back. He might, but not right now. Don't play him this week. That's all I'm going to say. Number 4, this one is big. Here's the big one. And he's only at number 4. Carson Wentz, the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of people will say, well, Andrew, hey, whoa, go across the board here. We're talking about, some 25-point games, 22-point games, and he's kind of consistent. He's a consistently top 20 to 15 quarterback in fantasy. He can even get to the 10th place. Cool. That's not what I want. The reason why
he's good for like the super flex. Yeah. When you're getting a QB2, but
yeah. But even then, you could possibly get, like a Baker Mayfield or a Mac Jones at that point, right?
Yeah.
So with Carson Wentz, he's been given an opportunity with Jonathan Taylor, which we all know, like, they're running the ball a little bit more. Sure. But the issue now becomes is you got Michael Pittman, you got Zach Pascal, and you got 2 tight ends, and you still got other wide receivers on that system. You're not getting as many touchdowns or fantasy points as we think. It's the turnovers as well.
Yep.
He's still fragile. The guy's still banged up. The guy's still like the Philadelphia Carson Wentz we've ever seen. Now he's just actually given a team, and it's just going to give him until next year. I think he'll do fantastic personally.
Yeah.
But right now for fantasy, this guy's a piss off because he's consistently good at 20 points. I don't need 20 points. I need my quarterbacks when I draft them or when I want to win to have 25 to 30 points consistently almost every single week in order to allow any type of missed point opportunities from your Jonathan Taylors or your Dalvin Cooks or your Cooper Kupps or anything like that. When those guys miss out on 5 or 10 points, it's when you have the quarterback in there that gets you that extra 10 points a week. With Lamar and Kyler and Tom Brady. If you have Tom Brady right now, people got him in the 14th fucking round. Not if you were drafting against me and Al. That guy was gone in the 7th round because people knew what he was going to do. Oh, 44, his arm's going to fall off. Yeah, not for the first 7 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
45 points he got me 1 week. I won a week because Tom Brady got 45 fucking points. That's impossible. So, better than her. Yeah, there we go. See, there we go. Better than Herbert has been. That guy you want to drop right now. Well, you see, the thing is Herbert in fantasy, though, I believe
he's still been a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah. Herbert is top 5, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually going to find out right now. Give me 1 second. Herbert is at number 7, and Carson, this is also sleeper ranking. Carson is currently ranked at number 13. And that's the thing. So the reason I'm looking at this is he started off the season with a 17 and an 18. That's okay. And then he gets you a 7, and then it's a 17, and a 21, and a 17, and an 18, and a 19. That's nice and consistent. Don't get me wrong. But if you're trying to win, I need these 24s. But then that 24 that he got, that was 2 weeks ago, and it was against the Jets.
Well, and you said he's ranked 13th, right?
Yep.
So in the majority of leagues, that's a backup quarterback, though.
Yep. And that's okay. But like, say you're even in a 12-person league, that, if you're someone like me who, values, some of these quarterbacks at the end, I can deal with him there respectively, but that's not going to win me anything unless I already have like the Najee Harris and the Jonathan Taylor and the Cooper Kupp as like my starters. So, Johnny was talking about he's been that's fair. That's fair. Y'all like Fournette for Hollywood or AJB?
Now, are you getting Fournette or trading him away?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
If you're getting him, give up either of those guys, in my opinion. But if you're getting rid of him, don't.
Who's AJB?
AJ Brown.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm getting from that.
No, I would assume that too. I would have to know the platform as well. I would gotta go, like, if you're talking Dynasty,
trade away half PPR.
Okay, trading away. So go back to it. So he's trading away Hollywood. Or no, he's trading away Fournette for Hollywood. If it's Dynasty, give me Hollywood. If it is if it is for Dynasty, yeah, give me Hollywood. Like if
I still disagree.
Really? You would go with AJ Brown?
Well, first off, I would take AJ Brown over Hollywood. Strictly the fact that I think Hollywood's fallen down in at best a second option in that offense, in a run-heavy offense.
You're not wrong either, because I mean Hollywood could be a second. AJ could also be looked at as like a 1B. But the problem is, like, last year AJ Brown went off. This year it hasn't been that great, and obviously Hollywood Brown has never really gone off until this year.
See, but you're seeing AJ Brown slowly progress back to what he was.
No, and that's true. That's true. And if it is,
this is where I'm at.
And so I had thought about that too. So in Dynasty, though, in regards to Dynasty, I look at the youth and I just don't know, like, when Fournette leaves, right? Like when Fournette leaves the Bucs.
Very true.
And also, very, very true, Jeff. Thank you for tuning in as well. To everybody, Mr. Curly Wolf and Johnny and everybody, I see you guys down there. Thank you for tuning in. It's different for me only because I know Johnny doesn't like Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's different for me only because Bateman, again, yes, he is going to start coming up. And AJ, you know what? Maybe, yeah, because AJ might actually become, say, the number one there if Julio starts to digress. Okay, I can see that. Now, okay, so I'll switch it to AJB then instead of Hollywood. I can agree with that. But then it becomes, would you rather have AJ Brown or Fournette in a dynasty?
I'd rather have Fournette. He's looking like he's getting back to that Jacksonville Fournette, like like early Jacksonville Fournette.
But is that just because they've just said, fuck it, take the rock here in Tampa? You know what I mean? The next team he possibly goes to, because if we look around the league, say he leaves Tampa Bay this year, or we'll just have to say this year because it's hard to look 2 years in advance for that. But if he leaves, what place would want him? Like when you can go after a Marlon Mac or Spiller in the draft, right? Like, it's just it's different for that because we know that AJ Brown is at least staying with Tennessee for 3 years, and more than likely he's got Tannehill for 2 of those years, and then probably getting a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's a hard one though because Fournette also could stay in Tampa for next year as well. And if he is given the rock in Tampa next year and he does this, then yes, I would want him. So I am going to stick with AJ Brown AJ Brown on this one, but understand that Mr. Curly Wolf, you have made a very good question. Cause
here's the situation.
I have Saquon, Mixon, and Fournette. I love how he says Fournette like that, but wide receivers sucks. Amari, COVID, DJ, Sleepy, and T Higgins. So need a solid wide receiver right now. See, and that's why with Saquon there though, this is just me. If this is Dynasty again, I would we got N. Miles Sanders as players to fill in slightly for Fournette. See, here's the thing. I know like those 3 wide receivers aren't that bad, but yeah, this year they're just like, right? If I would actually turn around to them and say, you take Saquon for AJ Brown 1-for-1, because now you're getting like say a solid wide receiver 1 that you can put in while Amari's recovering. You can keep T Higgins in there, and you can keep DJ Moore. But I would say try to trade Saquon first, only because the other player might think the upside of Saquon would be valuable.
Yeah.
So I would try that, only because, yeah, the Fournette, and I understand why the guy's probably like, give me the Fournette then. Like, I totally understand that, but I would try to throw the Saquon just because, and obviously you don't want him to be injured, but damn, right? So
yeah, this is my thought about Miles Sanders.
See, now
I have been so low on Miles Sanders for the last couple of years now.
I personally think Miles Sanders is going to a different team next year. And I think he'll become.
Oh, there's no way he's back in Philly.
No, and I think he might actually become like the second down, third down pass catching back with a different team. Like, and this is just a hypothetical. I'm actually no, I don't think it would actually work now for that team because they have an injured running back that's coming back.
I would say look at Fournette to Philly possibly if you guys don't keep him.
Hell, I mean, Miles Sanders on the Buccaneers as a third down passing option would be fucking fantastic. You take Rojo, like you take Rojo out and you give me Miles Sanders instead with his pass catching ability. I would take that.
Yeah.
That's just me. And then we're going, I agree with Alex from Johnny. Of course you would. Did you just compare Lenny to Mac? Yeah. Mac has just never had an opportunity due to the injuries and stuff like that. Every time he's been given the ball, he fucking succeeds for a little bit, and then all of a sudden he gets injured. Which
you talking Marlon Mac?
Yeah, Marlon Mac.
Yeah.
And Nyheim Hines, when it was him and Nyheim Hines there for a little bit, it was like, and I always use Carolina for this. It was like Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams. You had a 1-2 punch. So I do like Mac a lot. I think Mac is going to be looked at by a lot of teams in the offseason a little bit more than Lenny, only because Lenny has a lot of miles on his legs and Mac doesn't. Mac has shown that he wants to have.
But Mac has the major injuries that Lenny doesn't.
This is also very true. Lenny does have that little toe thing that keeps lingering from time to time, but that is also another thing too. Yes, is the injury. But someone could give him a short little 2-year deal like they did with Kenyon Drake there with the Las Vegas Raiders, and he could just succeed. So
absolutely.
Mr. Wolf, go trade for Deebo Samuel then. At that point, yeah.
Yeah.
We got that. The Chosen Rose, thank you for tuning in. I had Nick Folk about the Patriots defense for 42 points. Okay. Oh, yeah. I guess both of those combined probably got you. Damn.
Yeah.
I just saw my one thing going off there before it. It was like Nick Folk kicked the field goal. Nick Folk kicked the field goal. And I'm like, keep doing it, buddy. Need all those points. So, because no one has consistent tape on Mac. And that is also true as well. But that's all. It's that intrigue, right? What's this? If I had to play Sanders, Josh Jacobs, or Joe Biden at
oh.
Let me finish this for all the people who are just listening. If I had to play Sanders, Josh Jacobs, or Joe Biden at running back, ... I would literally spin a wheel. That is some of the funniest shit I have heard. Not gonna lie.
That's so good.
Lenny basically has 3 pretty easy years on him. There is a ton of leg left on him.
And that's where I'm at.
True. I mean, Jacksonville did take some years off those legs. Let's be realistic. So.
Oh, yeah. There was 3 heavy years and 3 easy years is where we're at.
Oh, yeah. Saquon for what wide receiver? You think Tyreek worth it? I'd have Mixon, Fournette, and Sanders, and Hill, Amari, DJ, and Higgins. If someone would give you Tyreek Hill for Saquon Barkley, I would do that for sure.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
If someone offered it was like, would you do Cooper Kupp for Saquon? You would ask them.
Oh my God. You run as fast with that as you can.
You possibly even say, would you like Miles Sanders in the deal? And could you give me one of your bench running backs? If something like that gets thrown to you, there's a few wide receivers in this case that if someone actually came up to you or if they were willing to accept the other offer, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp for sure. You give me
Stephon Diggs is another receiver in that category.
Stephon Diggs would, yeah, okay. Let me just go to, if I can get to the leaders here, wide receiver, and just go to the season. 1 second here, so I can boom. Yeah, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Debo, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Devonte Adams, I'm gonna hold.
I agree.
Only until we know where the hell he goes after the season. So maybe hold on that. Jamar Chase.
I'm thinking Vegas for Devonte Adams.
Man,
it's either Vegas or he follows Aaron Rodgers.
Man, that would be nice. That would be.
He played college ball with Derek Carr.
Aaron Rodgers on the Raiders. You imagine Aaron Rodgers with the wide receiver core that they have and the tight end, all of a sudden add Devonte Adams into this. You could just draft a defense and call it a fucking day. That's what I've been saying too, man. Like Denver and the Raiders are set and prime for
They're both a quarterback away.
Okay, so here's judging by the percentage this year for the Saquon thing. Just finish. Jamar Chase, oh fuck yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
CeeDee Lamb, I'm gonna investigate
That's iffy,
that one. Yeah. Marquise Brown, I'm not gonna do that. Michael Pittman, as much as I would think about it, I'm not going to do that. Cordell Patterson, no. And then it starts getting into some of the weird ones where it depends on who you are as a fantasy football owner. From basically number 10 all the way to I'm going to go just to 19. 10 to 19 this year has Godwin, Evans, Jefferson, Diggs, DK Keenan, DJ Moore, Adam Thielen, Mike Williams, and Scary Terry. That would all depend on you as the owner of what type of wide receivers you would want. You know, bye weeks may piss you off. You might have some players already from some of those teams. You might want to get different players from around the board. So then that one, so that's where, you know, Justin Jefferson, I say yes. Mike Evans, no. Chris Godwin, yes, but with a little bit of hesitancy. DK Metcalf, no. Keenan Allen, no. DJ Moore, quite possibly. Adam Thielen is a possible one. Mike Williams, I would possibly say yes. And Scary Terry, I'm going to say no. But that's just, you know, some of the looks and some of the players I would look at with regards to that. Some of the other comments here. Start one, Fairmouth or Hawkinson. I'm going Fairmouth.
That's tough this week. Tough this week.
Screw it. Hawkinson got me. Shit. I'm done. That's
because Goff wouldn't throw the ball farther than 5 yards.
Okay.
Debo I'm going to say Hawkinson this week. This week I'm going Hawkinson.
Johnny says Debo can't win without him. Man, it's one of the other worst trades I've made. Though I got a respectable return, but definitely not enough.
Yeah.
Mike Williams or Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney this week.
He's drawing Marlon Humphrey on the other side. Darnell
Mooney. It's the target.
I'm going Mike Williams this week.
That's fair. I would just take the opportunity with Darnell Mooney. That's all I would say there. I like Alex. Funny. I like Alex to never mention Cup again. He knows why.
So this is where I got the league he runs is the idea I got the salary cap and all that from.
Okay.
And this off season, I signed Cooper Kupp from him for it's a $75 million salary cap.
Yeah.
And a max contract is 20. I signed Cooper Kupp for like 6 or 7 million.
Oh, wow.
And so we call it like a loyalty thing. So if the team that had him before matches that offer, they can steal him back.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't match my offer. So I got Cooper Kupp.
Oh man, Jeff, I gotta shout you out for that one too. But also, like at the same time, if you want to join our Dynasty League, it'd be great to have you next year, buddy.
Yeah.
If you want to come pop in there. So, we also got Mark Kabula says, "I'm her." Thank you for tuning in. Johnny says, "I have to agree with Andrew on Hawkinson lately. Hawkinson's been killing me in the last 2 weeks." I agree. Just to finish off my slumps, and then we'll get Alex's here, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here.
And now, right now, me and him are fighting for the top spot in our league.
That's absolutely hilarious. I got Brandon Bolden at number 3. Just I don't want to start touching Patriot running backs anymore. I'll let Alex take them all. Number 2, Mike White. You are the chosen one, dude. The hell happened? You have a Zach Wilson breakdown? Like, what the hell, man? Number 1, only because I didn't start him, and I think fucking God I didn't start him last week. Wayne Gallman, the running back for Atlanta. You think with all these people being out, you think Atlanta would at least figure out what running back they want to use? Nope.
I wanted to put 3, 2, and 1 all Atlanta running backs this week, but I didn't.
Yeah. Like, I'm really pissed off at Atlanta's running back. Sorry, Kyle. Love your team, respectively. Love your love for the team, respectively. I hate your running backs.
Yeah.
All right, give me what you got.
So 5, I have Devonta Freeman. I just think right now he's the starter, but with Latavius Murray coming back, I think that's going to eat at some of his carries. Number 4, he will continue to be on the slumps. He might not be there every week, but if he's not on the top 5, he's number 6. It's Allen Robinson. Number 3 is Devante Booker. Saquon coming back, I think is going to push Booker back to the bench for almost everyone, and that makes sense. Number 2, Jordan Howard. Phillies come out and said that as soon as Sanders is healthy and back, that he's the starter again. So if he plays this week, that obviously bumps Jordan Howard down. And number 1, I also went a Falcons player. I did not go a running back. I went with Matt Ryan.
Wow.
He got benched on Thursday, and he's looked awful the last 2 games. So Matt Ryan, it's time for you to go to the bench or maybe even released, depending on your quarterback situations.
Yeah, and I've seen it happen in a few leagues already, too. In the COVID league, he did get dropped. And, yeah, I thought about it just because like I've said, in the COVID league, I'm trying to get my first-round pick back right now because, like, I suck. I've lost every week I'm 2-8.
Oh.
I'm 2-8, and I like some of the people that's on my roster are. Give me a second here. I'm gonna go to my roster quick. I got Tom Brady as my quarterback. I got Elijah Mitchell, Josh Jacobs. I got Darnell Mooney, Kadarius Toney. But like I got people on bye weeks now, like Curtis Samuel on the roster. I got Noah Fant. But like so many people in IR right now as well, and I've just made some pretty bad trades. So.
That sounds like a pretty good team in like 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Like,
not now.
Yeah.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the show. Alex has to go see some Fam Jam. I
gotta see how the roads are here. It's been snowing like crazy.
It's not too bad, is it? But it's Maybe.
I was like, it's not so bad here. I gotta see what the roads are looking like that way.
I gotta run a bulk barn. I gotta get lemon poppy seed loaf mix and some butterscotch chips, like the little chocolate chips, and a couple of other things like that because I'm doing some bacon. Ooh. And I'm doing baking for the family, and I'm doing baking for me. And I'm just gonna I got a syringe, and I'm just gonna go right into the batter and just say fuck it. Yeah. Enjoy my damn Christmas. So I still gotta wait though, because my fiance's birthday is in 3 days. So I have to wait until after her birthday to play Christmas music and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. So we're gonna go out on Saturday, and then on Sunday morning, I think I'm gonna wake her up to some Mariah Carey, and she's gonna be like, "What the fuck? I am hungover, and I am not accepting this." And I'm like, well, that sucks to be you. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. Have yourselves a good one. We will talk to you all soon. Next week, I'll be back tomorrow, live from the cheap seats. Alex will be back
Thursday
for the NFL edition. And I'll also be back on Wednesday for Against the Spread. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all next week. Love you all. Take care now. Bye-bye then. All the fun stuff. Merry holiday season. Whatever. Bye.